Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the STEAM train. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Mr. Dorian with New Minds, and before we get started, I want to talk about the awesome cardboard challenge that just happened yesterday. It was super cool, and tons of people participated, and all of the details are still up on newminds.tv/Earth Day 2020. So if you want to just try the challenge for yourself, even though the challenge is officially over, or you just want to see some of the amazing things that people made, it's all up there. I saw some people made some basketball games, some maze games, and I saw all sorts of awesome creations. I saw one person even made a Hogwarts castle. But we're going to go ahead and start today's show, and it is still the week of recycling. So we're going to do something super awesome, and we're actually going to use recycling in our project to make something grow. So let's go ahead and look in our supplies and go from there. This box is kind of full today, mostly because it's big stuff. It's not actually a lot of stuff. We also have some potting soil. It could be any soil, doesn't matter that much, but what we're doing is we are creating our very own recycled plant pot. We're going to find a plant, we're going to grow it, and it's actually going to be in a plant pot that we recycled, reused, and we're going to grow something new out of it and maybe use it more than once. So, here are the things we need. I have some recycled materials, anything that can hold seeds. I have this egg carton from a past holiday that just happened. I'm going to use this for my recycled planter. Or, if you still have the bottom half of the bottle that we used on our bubble blowing machine that we did on Tuesday, this is going to be super awesome. And we have some chia seeds, some scissors, and some water. Now you can do this with any plant that you have seeds for, but I like to use chia seeds because they're super fast growing and we won't have to transfer it from one pot to another. They grow pretty fast and they're not very big when they grow, so they'll knock something off the table. We have our different recyclables. We have different supplies, we have different materials, different things that we recycled or used from a different day. Instead of just throwing them away, we're going to use them for an actual purpose. It's fun to make different art projects and things like that, but eventually that stuff will have to go away. But if we use it for something like a planter, we can give it another lifetime that is useful. So I'm going to show you how to turn anything into a planter, and it's actually super simple. Step one is you need something that's some sort of cup shape. Anything that can hold anything. As much as I love these cardboard tubes, the problem is the hole goes all the way through. Nothing will stay in here if you set it inside. My rule of thumb is if you can put a marble in it and it won't fall out, then it's pretty good. The next step is we're going to have to fix the shape a little bit. Now this one I can actually open and have two different planters, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to split this one in half. There we go. So I have two different halves of my planter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bottom half because this half actually has a hole in the side. But the next thing we're going to need to do is poke tiny holes in the bottom for drainage. If the soil has too much water, then it's going to actually overflood and it's going to go through the bottom. So I'm going to poke tiny holes in it. While I'm poking these holes, I'm going to talk about the plants themselves. We're using chia seeds. They grow pretty fast. They should sprout, so you should see a little green on them in 2 to 3 days. In about 2 weeks or so, you'll actually have a fully grown version of it, and it's going to be pretty awesome. Now, this is something that has to be done outside. Chia seeds need lots of light, but if you could do it on your windowsill, that's awesome too. But since this is a plant pot and they do drip water out of the bottom, especially when we have drainage, I'm actually going to use the top part of this egg carton. I'm going to put it underneath so any drainage just falls into this lid. So that way we don't have any waste and we don't make a mess, and this could be on a windowsill. So I'm going to finish poking my holes in the bottom of each one. So I'm going to actually end up with 8 different spots for planters. Now the same thing would happen if you did it with this water bottle. You would just need to poke a few holes in the bottom, and if you have a parent or guardian helping you, that'd be really useful to just poke some holes in the bottom. They can do that step for you, and then now is the fun part. We actually get to fill it with soil and plant our seeds. I'm not going to poke holes through this one on camera because I probably need something sharper than scissors. But I have my egg carton all ready to go. So you just want enough soil that you can just barely cover the seeds. So I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to try not to make a mess. I'm going to hold it up. And I'm going to scoop it in until my holes are filled. So I'm going to fill all 8 of them. That way I have 8 different spots to grow my chia seeds. There we go. And any soil will work. It doesn't have to be anything special. This is just what I had. You might have something different. The soil itself doesn't matter too much. Chia seeds are pretty easy to grow, so if it's your first time growing a plant, try it out. Almost there. I just have 2 left to fill. I want to kind of try and make them all even, so that way they all grow similarly. Actually, just need to fill my last hole. Oh, almost there. And I did end up getting some dirt in my table, so I'm going to make sure to clean up my area after I'm finished with it. The last step is you have your chia seeds. Now if you have these already, that's awesome, because I know some people like to eat them. I like to put them in my oatmeal. But they also grow into chia plants, which you can eventually eat when they grow about 2 inches tall. But I have my seeds ready to go. I have my soil. I'm actually going to make the soil wet first, just a little bit. You don't want to pour too much. You just want it to be damp. You don't want to flood it. Just a little bit of soil. And this is why we poked holes in the bottom. So that way, if it gets too much water, it'll drain through the bottom. You might want to mix it a little bit. Just to make sure the soil gets damp. You shouldn't have any dry parts, but you shouldn't see any water on top. You should just have wet soil. I'm actually going to need a little bit more water. Just start with a little bit, and then you can always add more later. You can't take soil out, so make sure you just keep trying. Add a little bit more soil each time. I'm going to add some more in. Oop, I'm getting water on my table. I would probably use a watering can instead of a water cup because it keeps dripping down the side. But I'm going to keep filling this up. It will get a little heavier. That means your soil is wet. If any part gets too wet, try and add some more soil into it, unless it's already super full. I'm actually going to fold this piece down because I want all the plants to end up with sunlight. And if you're not sure, you can try one half with a certain level of soil damp and the other half with a different level. So that way you end up with an experiment and you have 2 different types. So you see which ones grow better, which ones grow worse, and it all works out for the better. Some of these are a little too wet, so I'm actually moving the soil around. And I'm just working on it, trying to make it all even. There's no perfect way to do it. Just do your best, and I'm sure they will grow. This is also a good experiment in responsibility. You have to take care of your plants. You don't just leave them alone. You want to make sure they don't die. So if you can practice being responsible by keeping a plant alive, you might be able to do some other stuff. But I'm going to add some more water, make them all nice and damp. Just try your best to what seems right. They should all be a darker color than they started. If your soil is the same color as the soil in the bag, it's probably not damp. So now I have my big mush, and we're pretty much done. So this is my, I let my drainage drip a little bit. But this is my soil in here. I'm not going to tip it because there is water in the bottom from it draining through. But I have my soil, and now I'm going to go ahead and add in my chia seeds. I'm going to use a different spoon, because if I do want to reuse the chia seeds, I don't want to put the messy dirt spoon back in here, because I don't want to eat the dirt. I'm going to go ahead, take this, pour a little bit in each one. You don't need a lot of chia seeds, because they grow pretty fast. I actually put way too much in that one. You just need a pinch in every inch. It's an easy way to remember it, just a little pinch in each one. These are all about 1 inch holes, so they'll grow pretty well. You want to bury them a little bit, mix them in with the soil. They don't have to go super deep, just under the surface. Mix them around a little. I'm just using my hand. I'm going to use a spoon in a second. But this is actually a finished chia seed garden. If you overcrowd it, they're going to compete for nutrients. So you're going to make sure you don't put too many in there. You want to have just the right amount. There we go. And I'm actually just going to turn the camera so you can see my garden without me spilling it everywhere. So this is my chia seed garden. It's looking very nice. All of them are full. And I'm going to go ahead and set this outside after the show is done. I might give you some updates throughout different episodes to show you how my chia seeds are doing. But that is today's episode of the STEAM Train. Thank you guys for tuning in with another real inspired learning with New Minds. It was a quick one today, but we used recycling to make a working plant garden. It's a pretty quick project, it's pretty fun, and keep practicing your passions until they become your talents. Maybe it's gardening. I can't wait to see what you guys make. Thank you guys for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.